Hello, welcome back to my channel, Reclaim with Dr. David. I thank you and appreciate your time for tuning in with us. And I'm very glad that today we are kicking off with episode number 6 of my story. Previously, we stopped at the point where my family were stopped by this group of armed men and who were asking for money. We were in the middle of the war in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We had run from Burundi from war, running away from the war in Burundi. And little did we know that we were actually going towards the worst war. So now we're in the middle of chaos, middle of the war. As we ran and ran, we came across a lot of people who were going the same direction as us. All that we could hear were guns, screaming, crying, pain, people calling their relatives, those who could not find their loved ones. People got lost from each other. It was tough. As we ran, we came across this place where we thought would be the good place for us to stop for a few minutes and get rest, like a shelter. At this point, my dad's feet were swollen. He had been running, carrying my sister on the back because she was too young to run, and a lot of luggages, suitcases, and a mattress on his head. My mother was so exhausted. He was carrying my brother, who was the youngest of the family, and a lot of luggages on her head as well. Myself and my 2 sisters on the run. So we came across this place and we thought it would be a good place for us to stop and take some rest. It doesn't mean that the guns had stopped. We could still hear gunshots, screaming all around. So as we approached this place, we were welcomed by flies and a very bad smell. My mom reached out to close my eyes, but it was too late. I think I've talked about one of these events previously in my videos, in the previous episode. It happened again. So, people who got shot dead and were left there, nobody to bury them after days. It was tough. These are things that you would not want your children to see. No parent would ever want their children to see these things. But it was too late. And then we said, we can't stop here. We need to keep going. Kept running. And then we reached the point where we were stopped by a group of men who were carrying guns. They told us to stop, and they told my father to give them money, and then they would let us go. We didn't have money. And my father told them, I don't have any money. Tried to apologize and say, please let us go. And then they said, okay, give us something that we can sell. At least something that we can use to get money. And my father reached in the suitcase and pulled out something they did not expect. It was a Bible. And boldly my dad declared, this is the most precious thing I have here. They were very offended by that. They asked, what are we going to do with this? What's the point? What are we going to do with this Bible? It's a book. We asked for something that we can use, that we can sell to get money. They got very angry. And they said, say goodbye to your family. You will not see them again. You will never see them again. They told us to say goodbye to him because we will never see him again. Now, a little boy, I'm standing there watching. See, I remember these things like as if it happened yesterday. I can still see clearly my dad, ourselves, and this man on the other side, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by trees and grass, and all we could hear just gunshots, screaming and pain. So, I'm thinking, what's gonna happen to my father? My dad came and said goodbye to us, and they told us, stand aside. They put us to one side and they told my dad to walk. He walked up to a few meters. Then they asked him to stop in the grass, in the middle of the grass. And they told him, we're going to kill you now. He left his Bible like this boldly. It was tough, He left his Bible like this and they charged the gun. As they charged the gun, getting ready to shoot, something we did not expect happened. My mother and all of us as kids, frightened, God used somebody that we would never think that he could use to save someone's life. My little sister was about 5 then. 5 years old. She screamed, cried. Just before the guy shot my dad, she ran, and grabbed the gun and pulled and screamed and said, "Let my dad go. Just let my dad go. Let my dad go." Pulled the gun. All of us were scared, and God used someone as little as 5 years old who showed bravery during that time and saved my dad's life. The guy was confused, looked at my sister, didn't know what to do. Just go, just leave, go. And then we left. It was like, what just happened? Everything that I saw, I thank God that He protected my soul. He protected my mind. It's things that I don't comprehend. The way God used these events, instead of, allowing them to destroy me, God used them to build me up to become the person that I am today. The very events that could have destroyed me, that could have traumatized me to the point of no recovery, He used them and brought me out of that to where I am today. I will explain and talk more about this in the later videos, but it's something that I really cannot comprehend. So we left. We started running again, running. As we reached on the other hand, in the other end of the bush near the sea, because we didn't want to go too far. So the Lake Tanganyika was like our reference as we ran. So we reached this point where someone told us that we could actually go back. We can go back because it's now safer. We're running away. Remember, we're running away from the border of Burundi, too far from the border of Burundi. And someone was telling us that it's safe now. We can run, running towards the border of Burundi so we can cross. Remember, in one of my previous videos, I mentioned that when the war broke, we were told not to run back to Burundi, towards the border, crossing into Burundi, because we will die. And we obeyed that. We did not take that route. So now, running back to the border of Burundi, as we approached, we were told that anybody who attempted to cross that border in the previous days died. They were all shot dead. Now we were walking towards the border, and there were just bodies. People got shot dead. We managed to cross the border peacefully. We entered Burundi. Remember, we left Burundi because there was war. We crossed to Congo, DRC, and yet there was another war that broke there that was even worse than the one we had seen previously in our country. So we decided that we would go back to Burundi because we thought it was better on the other side. When we arrived in Burundi, we were welcomed by a church, and they took us to a refugee camp, and we stayed there for quite some time. I have a lot of memories in this refugee camp. A place where we lived in a tent, a place where we were fed by the UN and different organizations that were coming, a place where we would get clothes from people who bring clothes to help the refugees. We didn't have anything, including the pot that we would use to cook food. We were given that by various NGOs. The main one was the UNHCR. They were coming with the trucks, food and things. So we lived in that refugee camp for quite some time, and surprisingly, as I said, there was a lot of memories that I formed, that I had good memories in that place. We were not allowed to go far from the refugee camp because it was dangerous. So we were living in the one area, a small area. We could not cross and get out of that camp. So now I was starting to become more curious about life, and that's what I will talk about in the next episode. I'll be talking about my life in this refugee camp and how God started to pull me together despite what had happened previously. Hey, thank you so much for reaching to the end of this video. We really appreciate your support for this channel and for my story. I'm sharing this story so that more people will be, inspired, and that those who have lost hope, they can reclaim their hope. We will stop the story there, and we'll continue we'll continue the story in the next video, the upcoming video. In the meanwhile, Is there anything that you feel in your heart that you'd like to share from the videos that we have done so far, from the story that I have shared so far? Please go ahead and leave us a comment. It is encouraging for me to see that you guys are engaging and commenting and telling me what you think. Secondly, I would like to encourage you, if you are new to this channel, to subscribe. 64% of those who are watching these videos, you're not subscribed. You are not subscribing. And I would encourage you to subscribe, because this will help us to reach more audience, more people. So please go ahead and subscribe. Also share these videos if you feel that you like them, if you feel like the content is helping you or could help somebody else. So I appreciate your support for this channel, and I'm looking forward to releasing the next video. God bless you, and bye for now. Thank you.